Ladies and gentlemen, we have established over the last few videos that the altcoin market is on the edge of a cliff. The altcoin market specifically is on the edge of breaking down from macro trends that have underpinned the entirety of historical altcoin price action. And if we break those macro trends, we are in the dark for altcoins. That doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to be in a bear market, but it means that we'll have no insights as to what will go on. I mean, there's no trends left. There's nothing to look at. And therefore, altcoin investing becomes gambling. And obviously, if we do that, if we break below the altcoin macro trends, it becomes more likely we break below the Bitcoin macro trends as well. And so there's no way, there's no scenario in which, doing that would be a good thing. That's the reality here. And so what I'm really looking at here is the weekly candle close. And let's just analyze the situation. Let's just take a step back here for people who are new to the channel, for people who haven't seen this before. Why exactly is this such a pressing moment for the cryptocurrency market? Well, it's very simple, okay? Let's take a step back. Bitcoin has support. Bitcoin has room to move. Bitcoin's got bull market support band down at 61K. It's got price cycle center lines at 61K, or at least below short EMA of it at 61K. It's got various things down there. We've discussed all those things so extensively in previous videos. It's not worth getting into again. Also, the bottom of the range is 61K flat, and this 57K weekly here was a justified deviation to retest lower dynamic support zones. The fact of the matter is the bottom of the range is very clearly 61K, and we're here at 66. So Bitcoin has room. It's got breathing room. It's not threatening to break below the macro range as a whole yet, and so Bitcoin's got space, but I think a lot of people are getting confused right now, and I think the reason you're seeing the lack of urgency in cryptocurrency YouTubers, right? No one's really concerned, no one's really super concerned, no one's really fearful, no one's really even pointing out what's happening here, is because Bitcoin does have that room to move, objectively. Altcoins don't, okay? And the Bitcoin market and altcoin market are two separate things, and there's mechanisms that, underpin how money flows between those two markets. And obviously Bitcoin's the leader of the entire cryptocurrency market, but the altcoin market and Bitcoin market are two very different things. They interact with each other in different ways. And so obviously when you're in a parabolic bull market, altcoins are actually leading the market. And when you're in a bear market or the start of the bull market, when there's no parabolia yet, it's actually Bitcoin that's leading the market. So the way money flows in cryptocurrency is very important to understand. But fundamentally, just nailing that point, Bitcoin isn't the same as altcoin. So when Bitcoin's got room to move and it's got breathing room, that doesn't mean altcoin does. That doesn't mean altcoins do. And so if we look at the altcoin market cap chart, what we see is a macro trend here. Let's clear up the chart so you can see it very, very clearly. A macro trend, a 5-step kind of structural pattern. So you can see in the last, two bull markets ago, 2 bear markets ago, we bottomed out right here. We saw a little pump upwards to our bear market resistance zone. We rejected. Step 3 was consolidating at that resistance zone. Step 4 was consolidating above it. And the final consolidation within step 4, this is the important thing to note, okay? This is why it's relevant. Within step 4, we saw a retest of the bull market support band, a retest of the price cycle center lines, and a retest of an ascending RSI support line before finally bouncing and springing up into step 5, which is the parabolic bull market phase. And during that parabolic bull market phase, you can see here is overlaid the Bitcoin dominance chart in orange. During that parabolic bull market phase, only at the end of step 4, did Bitcoin dominance begin to drop and altcoin season began. Okay, so few critical points here. Again, altcoin season begins at the end of step 4 after the retests of the relative level. Okay, altcoin season begins after that. Now, right now we're following the exact same pattern, but we are still stuck on step 4. We have not begun the parabolic bull market, and hence we have no macro justification yet for an altcoin season unless we bounce successfully from the ascending support line of the RSI, the bull market support band, the price cycle center lines, all of which we bounced off successfully last time on step 4 before entering that parabolic bull market with the altcoin season. So we are currently testing the critical levels that we need to hold in order to maintain this macro structure and go upwards into a parabolic bull market on a predictable level. We're testing them. And in fact, we're a little bit below them in some cases. So bull market support band, we are literally right on top of it, okay? RSI ascending support line, we are right below it there. We need to move up a little bit more. Price cycle center lines, we need to move up a little bit more. The daily chart, we can see it's the same chart here, but just on a daily chart level, let's remove the red rectangle. We are just hanging on, just hanging on here. So look, here's my main concern. I suppose a concern is the right word because it is concerning, is basically, if the weekly candle that closes in 18 hours here closes below these critical levels, closes below bull market support band, closes below ascending RSI support line, closes below all these things, we break this entire structural 5-step trend and we enter a no man's land on the altcoin market. We enter a period of time where we have no idea what's going to happen next because the macro structures are gone. And the only reason we are confident, or the only reason I'm confident, or any logical investor is confident to invest in altcoins here, is because they're assuming that there is an underlying macro structure that makes it so altcoins move upwards with Bitcoin, okay, when Bitcoin goes into a bull market. If we break this macro trend in 18 hours, we close below all these levels, there's no justification anymore. The justification for investing in altcoins goes away. Altcoin investing becomes gambling immediately at that point because the structural trends that validate your decision to invest in altcoins based around the success of Bitcoin, meaning the success of altcoins and actually the outperformance of altcoins in relation to Bitcoin goes away. We enter a no man's land and no one knows what happens in a no man's land, okay? That's the fact. So it's very, very important here in 18 hours that we close the weekly candle above and within or above these levels. Bull market support band, RSI ascending support line here, pi cycle center lines. We need to hold all of these levels. If we close below them, we are screwed. Simple. That doesn't necessarily mean, now, very important distinction to make. When I say we're screwed, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're guaranteed to go into a massive bear market on altcoins. It just means that the predictable structures go away, and again, altcoin investing becomes gambling. It is within our best interest that these structures remain, because again, these are the structures that allow us to predict a parabolic bull market with an altcoin season starting right after this last and final step. We don't want to lose those structures. We don't want to lose that predictability. As for Bitcoin, because obviously, Bitcoin and altcoin markets, they are separate, but they're connected. And right now, it's still a Bitcoin season, okay? Bitcoin dominance is still on a macro uptrend. It hasn't necessarily started dropping yet, meaning that Bitcoin still controls the market. Bitcoin still controls the altcoin market. That means that in order for us to have significant likelihood of remaining above those levels on the weekly candle close, we need to see Bitcoin do something. And that's a difficult position to be in because Bitcoin's actually been doing quite badly recently. We can actually make this green box here red, because this is now a resistance zone, okay? That's now a resistance zone. Bitcoin had this kind of resistance zone here. It rejected from it for a month and a half. It formed a cup and handle formation, inverted head and shoulder formation. It got upwards, and now it's formed a double top formation, dropped below that level. It's coming back down for a downside retest. We need to break back up there on Bitcoin, right? And if we zoom into the short-term charts, we can see there is a massive resistance zone there, okay? You can see it acted as support. Now it's acting as resistance. We need to get above that level and flip it, okay? And if we do that, we can label this as a deviation, and we can label this support zone as still very much intact, and that will be very bullish for the market. It will allow Bitcoin to make aggressive moves to the upside. But right now, this level is still resistance. So what am I looking at right now? I'm looking at the weekly close, but more fundamentally on a shorter term basis, I'm looking at the short term Bitcoin chart. I want to see Bitcoin confidently flip above that level for support. Only then would I be willing to claim that the market is out of the woods and everything's fine again. Right now, I'm saying we're in crisis mode. I'm saying we're on the edge of a cliff, and I'm saying we need to see something good now, because this could get very dangerous very quickly. So guys, to end the video there, I'm not going to go too deep into this. I went into it very deeply yesterday. If you want a full analysis of this situation, if you didn't understand anything I said in this video, go ahead and check out yesterday's video. I literally looked into it for 18 minutes straight, just giving off ideas, what I'm doing, what you need to be doing, what's important here. But basically, again, weekly candle close, and we'll assess the results of that weekly candle in 18 hours. Fingers crossed. It's absolutely critical that we get a good weekly candle close there. And if we don't, it's very likely that I'll come out tomorrow. If we don't see that good weekly candle close, it's very likely I'll come out tomorrow and I'll show you what I'm doing with my portfolio exactly, because I wouldn't be comfortable, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to sell all my altcoins. I'm not going to do that. It's more nuanced than that. I'd have to explain it tomorrow if it does occur, but I definitely would be making some movements in my portfolio, that's for sure. And I'd explain that if it occurs hypothetically. I don't want to get too deep into hypothetical scenarios when it hasn't happened yet, because people have a difficulty understanding hypotheticals if I'm sitting here, I'm saying I'm macro bullish and then I'm explaining what I'm going to do when it's all bearish. It sounds Sounds like I'm not quite macro bullish, but I can assure you I still am. The macro trends are still intact. Nothing as of current has broken, but we are on the edge of a cliff and we need to be seeing those good closes on the weekly chart. And also we need to be seeing very, very soon, like it would be preferable if we see it now, essentially, as I'm speaking, a flip of this level as support. If we reject from this level and head further down, that will guarantee a bad weekly candle close in the total 3, and it would guarantee lower lows again for Bitcoin in this downward trend, which we don't want to be seeing, because Bitcoin, although it has breathing room, it's actually not looking that great on a structural level as well. If we lose this support zone, we flip it for resistance, where are we going? We're going straight down to the critical macro levels that we need to be holding. So, altcoins are right now in the crisis zone, but if we see this develop much further, Bitcoin will be as well, and then the whole market is. So it's a really, really important situation. We need to be seeing this weekly candle close do well. That's the fundamental reality for the cryptocurrency market right now. And no one's watching it, right? None of these YouTubers, none of these people on Twitter, everyone just seems to be happily ignorant here. And I'm telling you right now, if you're watching someone on YouTube or Twitter or whatever, and they're not talking about the altcoin market and how much it's basically on the edge of a cliff, you should be questioning their skill, their analytical skill, because this is an obvious threat right now. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Go ahead and check out the 3 exchanges I advertise on this YouTube channel. If you need an exchange with low trading fees that has never been hacked before, you can take your pick here. We've got BitGet, we've got BingX, and we've got Bitunix, okay? 3 exchanges, very low in trading fees, never been hacked before. My referral links are down below. With those referral links, you can sign up, and with the sign up code, you get access to a permanent 15% trading fee discount for life, okay? So you're literally saving money on fees in every single trade you make just by signing up with my referral link free of charge. Check it out if you're interested. Then we've got the VIP group on Telegram. We trade altcoins, we do trading signals, and we also have a group chat where we discuss the market 24/7, which has been incredibly useful so far in this little bull market we've seen. And it's been incredibly useful in the threatening periods of price action as well. When the market's dropping, you don't know what's going on, you can discuss the market there with me and other VIP members there. So, if you want to check out those altcoin trading plans, you can do so. We've got our results there. It's all transparent, our wins, our losses. Check it out. And then finally, the Crypto Academy's Become a Trader bull market sale is currently occurring for a limited time, a discounted price on the course. Very good course, very good value. Not like all these other courses in the market that charge you ridiculously high prices for ridiculously small amounts of content. This is 30 hours of content for a very reasonable price. So check that out if you're interested as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you tomorrow with an update on that weekly candle close.